Hey y'all. How's everyone doing? Happy Monday. I can't believe it's Monday. I woke up this morning thinking like, what day is it? What day is it? You know, it's a full weekend as usual. But I'm like, wait a minute. Is it Monday? It is Monday. How are you guys feeling? How was your weekend? What did you guys do this weekend? It was a beautiful weekend here in New York City. We actually have spring-like weather, not fall weather. We have spring-like weather. I'm not mad about it, but then part of sort of like, all right, I turned off my air conditioning. I don't want to have to turn it back on. And literally, I had to turn my air conditioning back on today because it's warm in the house. Because look, it's not like where I was before. It's sort of like you got to adjust to the different temperatures and light exposures. And okay, y'all didn't come here to hear me complain, but I'm just trying to explain to you how I did for my weekend. Do you ask someone how their weekend is and you really don't want to hear how it was? Just saying. Just saying. Kalani says the weekend went too quickly. Yeah, it always does, doesn't it? Before I know, I was like, Saturday's over. I'm on Sunday. I'm like, are you guys watching that Tia Mowry show? I haven't watched an episode yet. I forgot. Look, I forgot to watch it. Are you guys watching it? None of you have told me to watch it and recap it. That's usually how I know if a show is good or not. And if you're watching it, a lot of times you will tell me, oh, I'm watching. Are you watching? It's good. I haven't really seen you guys talk about it. Look, hold on. I really haven't seen you guys talk about it. All right. Rebecca says it's a gloomy day in England. Isn't it always? Look. All right. Oh, yes, Patricia. So happy to hear that. Patricia says, here in Florida, safe from Milton. Shout out to everyone in Florida that was affected by Helene and Milton in the last couple of weeks. We're going to get into this. And don't forget, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I still had, look, among the many things that I have to do, I've been reminded that I need to make sure I put together our fundraiser for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We know we normally always do it. I'm just, look, since I'm in a new environment, I'm like, oh gosh, I forgot to do this, I forgot to do that, whatever. All right, but we're gonna get to it. Let's get into this recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac. Guys, let me know where you're watching from and let me know how you would rate this week's episode of Potomac.
Here we go now.
Hey. Happy Monday, y'all. Real Housewives of Potomac last night. I literally just rewatched the episode. What did you guys think of the episode? Are you missing something? Is something missing? Are you enjoying the newbies? And I'm asking these questions not in a shady way. I'm asking real questions. How are you feeling about the season? It's only episode 2, though. It's only episode 2. I already saw a lot of people saying, oh my gosh, I felt the missing pieces of regular Robin and Candace. And I was like, I really didn't miss the energy. And not to say that they didn't add things over the years, but that didn't stand out to me. It's not like, you know, I'm trying to remember when Nene wasn't there, did it stand out to me too? I don't remember. But eventually you do get over it because the show has moved on. But some of you say, well, not for the better. Maybe not for the better. Shout out to everyone watching around the country, around the world. We appreciate you guys. And shout out to our replay crew as well. Shout out to our King's Guards. Shout out to our channel members. Become a member today at TheKempire.com/join. I did want to say shout out to our friends over at Factor. You know we love our Factor meal. You know I love to eat, but I'm a busy person. Some of you are busy. Some of you had a busy weekend. And on a day like on a Monday where you're catching up on things, the last thing you want to think about is what am I making for dinner tonight? Well, Factor Meals makes it so easy. Sweater weather pairs perfectly with savory fall foods, but with your busy schedule, sometimes it's hard to eat the way that you'd like. That's where Factor comes in. Their chefs do the shopping and the chopping to bring you fresh, never frozen, fully cooked meals right to your doorstep. All you have to do is heat and eat. All the meals are dietitian approved, so you know you're getting the nutrition you need, along with all the fall flavors you crave. And most of all, I love that they have something for everyone from Gourmet Plus, Keto, Calorie Smart, and vegan and veggie. All right. Head on over to factormeals.com/Kempire50 and use code Kempire50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code Kempire50 at factormeals.com/Kempire50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. More information on Factor Meals will be available in the description. All right. Let me pull up my notes. So we continue for the Real Housewives of Potomac. We continue from last week's episode. We're at the Hattitude party, and I said, please, dear God, producers, network, Andy Cohen, do not let Gizelle ever throw another festivity. And then we get another festivity of Gizelle in this episode. So we're still at the Hattitude party. You know, it ended with Mia running off and crying. And then after watching it again, I was like, is Mia putting on a performance? And look, I was defending Mia last week, and I said any parent, as someone that's not a parent, I can only imagine, anyone attacking you as a parent, as a mother, would be hard. All right? But then after hearing her cry, I was like, I think she's putting a little sauce on this cry. Go back and listen to it. Did it feel like she was being performative? Look, we already know what Mia be lying. So it's hard to take anything that she says 100%, but I do believe that she was hurt. But I do feel like she put a little sauce on that cry. I do believe she put a little sauce in that cry. Wendy did come to her defense when Mia left the table. She was like, you know, the way that you guys are attacking her parenting, I understand, you know, why she might feel that way. And she's just like, oh, we weren't attacking her parenting. Well, yeah, you were. Look, yeah, you were. So they immediately were apologetic when Mia came back to the table. But before that, Gizelle decides she's going to continue her Hattitude give out. So she gives Wendy a bucket hat. She says, since our friendship is in a bucket, I'm going to give you a bucket hat. Where then Wendy decides to rap a little verse. But she does invite Wendy to a lunch. She's like, you know, Wendy, I'd like to have a conversation with you tomorrow for lunch. And then Wendy's like, I'm open to that. We know all of you are open to it because all of you received a call from the network and said, we can't move forward unless you two are getting along. We can't go through another season where Gizelle is icing Wendy out or saying this or doing that in regards to Wendy. We'll talk about that conversation because that's the next scene in a second. Oh, I think I have it here. I just want to make sure, I have the tweet. I want to read this tweet that Dr. Wendy posted on social media in regards to this lunch that they did. So they discussed that they're going to have a Hattitude. She gives her a bucket hat, but then she says to Dr. Wendy that, yes, we'll have a lunch tomorrow. Okay. Then Gizelle and Karen apologize to Mia when Mia comes back to the table about attacking her situation. Mia goes back in her confession. She's like, you know, Karen is the queen of deflecting. And that's exactly what she did. We went from talking about Karen's DUI and 9 citations to now about my relationship with G. But Karen makes a comment. She's like, you know, she felt like this party was an inquisition. Take a drink every time she says inquisition in this episode. Just saying. Because she said that she knows that they wanted this to be her inquisition party. No, they really wanted you to take some accountability. Because God forbid this was someone else on the cast. Karen, you would be dragging it. And rightfully so. But the way that you've handled this DUI... Sidebar, I saw that Shannon Bedore responded on Watch What Happens Live that Karen sent her a text after her DUI and saying that she didn't receive a text from Karen. She said she did get a text like the day that Karen got her DUI. I don't know. I don't know what to believe. You both got DUI. Shame on you both. Period. Like, I'm not comparing either one of them. I will say that Shannon's taken a little bit more accountability. Definitely. She's definitely a lot more accountability than Karen. However, I'm also tired of people doing this to Shannon. Whoa, Shannon. Always feeling bad for Shannon. She's a grown woman. Look, both of them are grown women. But Karen, this is your second DUI. As Ashley reminded us multiple times last week. Anyway, so Karen believes that they wanted this party to be her Inquisition party. All right? So, the next scene, it's Gizelle and Wendy having a lunch. So, it's very awkward from the very beginning because we know that neither one of these people wanted to do this lunch. This was production. It's not even production. I know we like to blame production, but at the end of the day, production is just doing the work that the network tells them to do. And that goes with the scenes that we see. Like, they're there to produce it and get the information and get all the scenes. But at the end of the day, the narrative, the story that is told, is what the network wants to tell. Including Andy Cohen. I know he's a producer, but he's also a network person. I know technical. Okay, here gonna be. He doesn't work for the network anymore, Kempire. He doesn't work for the network. I understand that, but he used to. And that's also the same people that are trying to say that Andy Cohen doesn't have an influence. He's an employee. He's a talent. Please, save me. Look, we know what it says on his damn title. But we know what happens behind the scenes. He's also the owner of this brand. Look, why am I so angry? Because I could already see somebody like, well, he not. Okay, fine. You can keep sucking up to Andy Cohen like he's gonna do something for you. like they did nothing in the scene. This scene felt so flat to me, and even after watching it a second time, I was just like, are we supposed to really believe this? And I've said this before. If you watch any of our Real Housewives Potomac recaps, I've said countless times that the network has a responsibility to their audience. The conversations that they have in regards to colorism and racism and the black experience, they need to be more responsible about how that is shared on the show because your audience keeps saying to you that they're triggered. Sidebar, speaking of isms, did you guys notice when Gizelle said that she's not going to be bringing up any isms? And then I said to myself, wait, is she talking about colorism? What do you guys think? When Gizelle said she's not going to be bringing up any isms, I said, what? Look, what? This whole scene was production's way of making Gizelle look good. They want Gizelle to get back in favor of the audience. And look, they're doing a good job this season, except in this scene. Because according to Dr. Wendy Asefo, let me bring up this tweet. Hold on one second. Let me bring up this tweet. Because according to Dr. Wendy Asefo, there was a lot more that was talked about during this scene. All right? So let me just share this. Okay, so shout out to our girl, Brooke Ashley. So she asked the question. I'm all for moving on and forgiving, but we have to have some tough conversations and get to the root. Wendy let her off way too easy and didn't bring up anything. This is crazy. So Wendy retweeted and said, no, baby, I brought up everything. Saying I could not use her bathroom at the Reasonably Shady event, saying it was okay for me to be assaulted because she does not like me, bringing up a fake rumor about my husband, talking badly about my mother, etc. It was a 2-hour lunch. And look, we understand that they can't show a whole 2-hour lunch, but you could have showed this in a better way. It clearly was showing Gizelle in the best light. Gizelle held the majority of the conversation. And we didn't see Dr. Wendy bring up anything in regards to what the audience has been triggered about. So there were a couple of things that Gizelle said that triggered me. I was just like, Gizelle, what the hell are you talking about? Because Wendy had, she was a little critical of the way that Gizelle was eating the food. And she was like, you see that's what, there's no friendship when someone is speaking demeaning to you. And this is coming from a Virgo. Virgos have a sharp tongue, and they don't hold back in regards to their opinions if you're doing something right or wrong, or the right way or the wrong way. All right. So I thought that was interesting. And that to me was sort of like, okay, that felt a little weird. And look, and I'm not going to tell Gizelle how to feel the same way that she can't tell Dr. Wendy how to feel in regards to what they've experienced with each other. But I was like, this is starting off a little awkward. And then it's so funny because they had that little bit of a conversation about friendship and feeling demeaned. And mind you, this is her side. This is Gizelle's side. We didn't hear one of the issues that Dr. Wendy Acefo had with Gizelle over the years. You could have spent, I'm not telling the production or the network to show this whole 2 hours, but this scene could have been edited a whole lot better. It could have, because at the end of the day, this scene is not just about these two people moving on. This scene is about helping your audience move on because you've triggered them for the last 3-4 seasons. So this was, I think all of us were looking forward to this conversation. I was like, okay, let's see, at least me. I was keeping an open mind. Let's see how we get to a place where Wendy and Gizelle are together and hopefully doesn't feel like it's forced. It felt forced. Because how in the hell did Wendy bring up all those issues and they came to a better place? Gizelle, by the end of the conversation, I feel like, I thought maybe we could just, be civil. I feel like we're besties by the end of it. Hold on.
Lies! The lies!
But even Wendy was like, I don't know if we're besties, but okay. But so for me, by the end of this Gizelle and Wendy conversation, I was like, it's very clear what they wanted to do. They wanted us to be able to move on as an audience. But we can't move on as an audience with that surface conversation. That was such a surface conversation between Gizelle and Dr. Wendy. And honestly, I don't blame Dr. Wendy because Dr. Wendy said that she brought up everything. She brought up all the issues. I would have loved to see Gizelle's response to that. But Gizelle still, even with everything that she said about, losing her father and being in a different place and she wants to move forward. No, it's very clear. The network told you we need to move forward. We can't move in the same direction that we had. And honestly, if they had kept regular Robin, I do think that Dr. Wendy and Dr. Wendy and regular Robin would have been able to move forward. Gizelle is just not in her. She started off the conversation, I don't want any isms. I don't want to bring up any isms. She's already attacking the way that Wendy was criticizing the way that she was eating the thing. And honestly, I didn't take the criticism of the way she was eating the thing as like, oh my gosh. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, maybe because I'm around a lot of Virgos, so Virgos are very critical like that, so I'm used to people being critical. Hey, Virgos, shout out to the Virgos. Y'all know I'm always bringing y'all up. Dr. Wendy's a Gemini, though. Geminis can be a little bit like that, too. I'm just saying. So I don't feel like the conversation did what I thought I was hoping for that it would do. But I remind you guys, this is not even on a production level. This is at a network level. If the production was there and they got all of the information, they had the entire conversation, they decided to edit one way. Who knows, when they brought this to an Andy Cohen into the network, they're like, yeah, let's take that out. Let's take that out. We don't want to go back that way. We don't want to go back to that direction. Keep that in mind. Look, keep that in mind when you're watching this. Because it's not just production. It's also the network in the ear saying like, well, this is what it is. We don't want to bring up the colorism again. This conversation didn't land the way you guys thought it was going to land. Gizelle and Wendy end up talking about Mia and Karen meeting Mia's man and him being short. Who cares? Look, who cares? Karen is just producing the season. She will talk about anything and anyone so that we don't talk about her 9 citations. But you know what, Karen? I'm going to bring it up every freaking recap. And yes, we love Karen, but we're still going to hold her accountable. You should understand that, Karen, as a Taurus. Because that's the type of friend that we are. We don't blindly ride with someone when they're wrong. And I know we're never wrong, but you were wrong. You and your 9 citations. Anyways, you know who I really am liking? Stacy. Aren't you guys liking Stacy? I love the scene with Stacy at home with her daughter. Because look. Black success. We have au pairs. We're learning multiple languages. I was like, I like this scene. And because the thing is too, I know women very much like Stacy, that this is the life that they're creating for their children. So she's at home with her daughter, and I'm glad that she must be in a good place with her husband. First of all, they're still living under the same roof. We found that out. They've been separated for a year. But she has an au pair, so she's learning Spanish and she's learning German. Looks like she knows more German than she knows Spanish. She's about to go on spring break with her father to Mexico. So Stacy's like, I need to make sure that you're able to get help. Like, this is some real black mama stuff. No, this is like mama stuff, but real black mama stuff. I need you to know your father's number. God forbid you're separated from him. I need you to know how to scream in Spanish. I need help. I really appreciated this scene because I can tell you a bunch of black mamas very much like Stacy that are living this type. This is a very typical scene. I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed a couple of scenes with Stacy this episode. Okay? Right? Vanessa says, I was impressed by her daughter's languages. I was like, because remember, her father is German. So and Stacy knows German too. I was like, okay, Stacy. I enjoyed this. And look, I'm not saying that the other housewives on Potomac aren't great mothers, but they don't highlight that a lot. And when they do, we call it out. You know, when we see Gizelle and her daughters, we're like, you know, she's a great mom. Someone wants to know what an au pair is. An au pair is someone, usually it's sort not a babysitter. I don't know the official definition, but it's sort of like a babysitter that's there to help your child learn another language. So they're taking care of your child. They're coming from another country, and they're coming to take care of your child, but they're teaching your child their language as well and culture. So that's what's happening with their daughter. I was like, this is great. I love this scene. Ateka says, I enjoyed Stacy's set. I really did. I mean, I've been enjoying what we've seen of Stacy so far. And I wanted to get to know her myself. I didn't want, you know, to listen to the other housewives. Like, oh, I can see why they think she's a little bit like a Mary Cosby because she's a little kooky. All right. Exactly. That's probably a better way of saying it. They live in, and they're close to a nanny. They're basically a nanny from another country coming to live with you. But your child ends up learning another language from them. So I thought that was SD Max said it's an expensive nanny. No, it's not just that. It's a whole cultural experience, both for the nanny and also for your child. See? Osea, is that how I pronounce your name? Especially with infants and toddlers, au pairs can be less expensive than a traditional childcare. So do some homework on it for those that are, you know, I know we have a few people that are pregnant watching. Dawn says, I like how Stacy co-parents. Yeah, because they seem to be in a good place, and they must be in a good place for him to allow the daughter to be on the show. Because, you know, sometimes that can become contentious with these families and these relationships. Like, you're not going to have my child on the show. So I was so happy to see that they were able to do that. So they live under the same roof, but they're living separately. She says she knows he's dating. Stacy knows he's dating, but she's also dating. And look, we'll talk about who she's dating in just a second when we get to that scene. So she has two homes. She has a home in D.C. Like, Stacy's got some cash. Stacy's not broke. Because I know it's not cheap to live in the DMV area. And she said that she has a D.C. apartment, and she has the home that she shares with her estranged husband, because they're not divorced at this particular point. I don't know if they've since divorced. But I just like the scene with her daughter, seeing her with her daughter, seeing that she's trying to instill, first of all, safety while traveling, the language. She's giving us just an idea of who Stacy is. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this scene with her daughter. Okay, and the perspective on, because remember, she was with her husband for 16 years. She was with him for 16 years before now getting a divorce. And she did say that they have not told their daughter about the divorce yet. They want to figure out all the settlement stuff. They also want to figure out they just want to figure out the details of this divorce. They want to finalize it. Once they finalize the divorce, that's when they will tell their daughter about the divorce. Do you think that's good? Because here's the thing. I think a lot of parents think kids don't know what's going on. I think their daughter knows that they're sleeping separately. I think their daughter knows that there's something going on. Kids are a lot smarter than parents give them credit. And as she's preparing her daughter for this trip, I think she could also prepare her daughter for this divorce, because I don't think there should be just one conversation. Like, I feel like there should be multiple conversations, and I'm sure there will be, but I think even leading up to a divorce, because once they finalize the divorce, the house might be, she might be moving out, or someone's moving out, you know what I mean? So I feel like they could ease into the conversation about the divorce. Okay. Vanessa says, I agree, Kempire. That was a good scene. Beautiful the way that she protects her daughter. Take note. No, God, come on. We didn't have to take a dig at Mia. Okay. Oh, yes. Okay, now SD Max says, I want all my West Indian nannies in New York City to get a rebrand. I mean, technically, those are all pairs, too. I mean, we're teaching them patois. I don't know how many people want to learn patois, but that's okay. Look. That's okay. All right. Well, their daughter is what, like, how old is the daughter? 8 years old? I don't remember how old the daughter is. I can't remember. She said it, though. I can't remember how old their daughter is. Exactly. Jamie says, if you're abroad, many people, even in Jamaica, have au pairs, nannies, or helpers, whatever you choose to call it. I agree. That's very common in Jamaica. All right. Moving on from the scene with Stacy, guys, you're just joining us. We're talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac. Be sure to like the video if you haven't already. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. And for everything Kempire, including our new show that's coming to Los Angeles, the Kempire After Dark live experience is coming there to the Bourbon Room on November 20th. Have you gotten your tickets yet? Don't wait till the last minute. I plan on selling out in Los Angeles. Look, you got to speak it to create it. Just saying. Oh, she's 8, right? She's 8. Stacy's daughter. Go get your tickets today. I'll be at the Bourbon Room on November 20th. Let's sell out this show. Because if we don't, I'm not coming back to the West Coast.
Lies! The lie!
We don't sell out, I'm not coming back. Look, I'm not coming back. Anyway, I'm just saying. We sold out in New York City. We sold out in the DMV. Just saying. You got to go where the people are, right? All right. Anyways, guys, more information on the Kempire After Dark, a live experience, will be available in the description. Okay. All right. Shout out to everyone watching on TikTok. Those of you watching on Twitch and Twitter, we see you guys. And shout out to those of you who are watching on Facebook. And, of course, the majority of you are watching here on YouTube. All right. Exactly. Vanessa said, yeah, Kempire coming to my town. Yes. All right. Let me move on because there are some scenes that I have some conversations that I want to talk about. All right. Kiarna and Karen. So a lot of people are asking about Kiarna. Where's Kiarna? Okay. Well, Kiarna meets up with Karen. And I feel like this was a great way of introducing Kiarna back into the fold. Because remember, at the reunion, Kiarna was very emotional and very thankful to Karen for being there after the brawl that happened last season. So this was a perfect segue to bring Kiarna on the show. So she meets up with Karen, and we learned a little bit more about Kiarna. So Kiarna's moving in with her boyfriend, Greg, but they're building a home together. They're not engaged, but we did find out that Kiarna was engaged at one particular point, and that fiance passed away. I don't know how he passed away, but he died. So she talks a little bit about that. So like, there's a lot more for us to learn about Kiarna. And a lot of people were very, they like Kiarna. A lot of people saying they want to see Kiarna with a flute. I'm not one to jump on giving people flutes, but I'm here to learn a little bit more about Kiarna this season. And it seems like her and her man are both like entrepreneurs. So she recently moved in with him. So she was just updating Karen on that and how her mom was like, well, like, where is this going? Because they're not engaged. All right. Karen brings up the party. She's like, why weren't you at the party? Didn't they invite you? She's just stirring the pot. Stirring the pot. Because for those that don't know, Kiarna and Gizelle are in a good place. Remember from last season? And they have a mutual friend, Giselle's hairstylist. So they never had an issue. It feels as if Karen was trying to start an issue, but Gizelle kept on saying, like, well, we didn't have enough room to invite everyone. There were a few people you could have left off the list and invited Kiarna. Because I think at this particular point, because remember, we found out Kiarna got a flute late in the season. At one particular point, they were saying she wasn't going to be a part of the season. Then another particular point, we found out she was she was getting full time. So I feel like that's what was going on. Because why wouldn't you invite Kiarna to this event? Gizelle and Kiarna didn't have any issues. So I think that's part of the reason why Kiarna wasn't invited. But Karen wants to stir the pot and make it seem like Gizelle left her off the guest list. And Kiarna was like, I'm good. Because Karen brings up, like, well, you know they're having another GNA event. Hopefully you're invited to that. She's like, I could pass on a GNA event. Because you remember that was where the whole situation, the brawl happened, was a GNA event. Karen does bring up that everybody was asking her a lot of questions about the, quote, accident. You notice the words that she uses. It was an accident. Yeah, there was an accident, but you were inebriated in that accident. You received 9 citations in that accident. Your DUI, your DWI, yes, the accident. She said, they tried to make this an inquisition. Girl, if it was regular Robin, it would be a whole other situation. If it was Gizelle, it would have been a whole situation. Just saying. Just got to remind you guys, because if the reverse was happening, we saw how she handled the whole Juan Dixon and Juan being caught out there with the lady at the hotel. So this is even more serious than that, because at the end of the day, if regular Robin wants to be with the cheating man, that's on her. That's not hurting anybody besides her and the cheating man. That's not hurting anybody. You could have killed somebody. Just saying. Karen, you're not going to get it easy from me this season, please. Especially because you're not having any accountability about the accident. Okay, Karen. All right, let's talk about the scene with Ashley and Stacy. Oh, God. So if you follow me on Twitter, I said, Stacy's better than me, because I wouldn't tell Ashley what I was having for breakfast, never mind any of my personal business. But before we even get to that, do y'all think it's a big deal that Stacy doesn't know the name of the man that cuts her grass? See, my situation is different. I know the person. The person that cuts my grass, it's not me. The person that cuts my grass is like a mom and pop business. But there's some people that have like a big business where they have people come and do their lawns and stuff like that. So for me, I didn't think it was a big deal that Stacy didn't know the man's name. He's probably not the man that owns the company. And a lot of times when they come, you're not home. I didn't think that it was a big deal. She's like, am I supposed to know the name of the man that cuts my grass? No, girl. Look, no. It's fine. I'm sure a lot of people don't know the name of the person that cuts their grass. Just say it. All right. Creme Brulee says her husband's paying the man to cut the grass. Or she could be paying the man to cut her grass. She probably knows the name of the company, but she probably doesn't know the man that's actually doing the grass cutting. And if I'm honest, I know the man that owns the company, but he has people that come sometimes, and when he doesn't come, I don't know that man's name that comes sometimes when he doesn't come. Do you? Real question. Why are we focused on this? Bougie. No, I don't even think it's bougie either. Okay. All right. So they talk a little bit about that. So they go for a walk, and I have to say, I never thought about this conversation before, just because it's not part of my life. I don't have children. I have biracial children, but I'm so glad that Stacy brought this up, because she asked Ashley about, like, what's her, situation, like, in regards to her own identity, and Ashley says, I identify as a black woman, but I'm biracial. Because Ashley says that, she grew up with the black side of her family. But Ashley says that, her sons, because they don't necessarily look black, and they're not really around that. But then she says, they don't really have a lot of exposure like she did. What do you mean? First of all, Michael Darby's family, I think, is in Australia. He might have one or two cousins that are here. Oh no, he has kids here, I think. I don't even know if his kids are here. But you're still very close with your family. So I'm trying to understand how they don't have a connection to their black side. If anything, they should have more of a connection to their black side than their white side. I'm just saying. Because I know you're very close with your uncle. I know you're very close with your mama. So if you grew up around your black family, I would assume your kids would too. But I like the conversation about racial identity because Stacy says that, sometimes she wants her daughter. She has a very good connection with her German side, and they're very proud of that. And she wants her daughter to be proud of her black side. But her family, because she's from Detroit, Stacy, is mostly in Detroit. So I was just like, I appreciate her being honest about that. Because she's like, she wants her daughter to be proud of that as well. Well, Stacy, you're already doing a heck of a job because the fact that you're even conscious about something like that, because some people around here are not even conscious about stuff like that and don't do anything about it. And they just like, oh, yeah, whatever. But she's very conscious about, like, I want them to have, I want her to be proud of the black side of her lineage. I was like, all right, I appreciated this conversation. But then the conversation goes into Stacy's love life. And she's telling Ashley about this. Ashley, who's still married to Gullum. Okay? We don't know when that divorce is happening. I know that's part of her storyline this season. She's getting a divorce. Okay, fine. She's working on getting her divorce. But then Stacy says, well, the guy that she met this guy at QVC. He was auditioning to be on QVC as well. And they started dating. After 6 months, they couldn't deny their passion for each other. But he's very Christian, and he doesn't want to have sex until they're married. And Ashley's like, "Girl, you ain't had a different what in 16, 17 years, and you waiting on this one." First of all, not everyone's a whore. No, but here's the thing. I feel like Ashley, like, you literally just started, like, dating outside maybe not, because during your marriage, you guys had threesomes and things like that. So who knows? I just feel like if this is what Stacey's comfortable with, I'm okay with it. I mean, until we meet him, because I did see the scene with this guy, and I was sort of like, I'm like, But maybe this works for Stacy. And I don't think Stacy had an unhappy marriage for the majority of her 16 years. It didn't seem that way. If anything, it seems like they fell out with each other in recent times. So I'm okay. If she's okay with taking it slow and respecting the fact that he's Christian, fine. But the way that Ashley responds, she's like, couldn't be me. We know it couldn't be you, between you and Gullum. We know it couldn't be you. He barely couldn't stop being with other women while he was still married to you, in an exclusive relationship to you. Just saying. Could it be? Mind you, it's only been 6 months she's talking about of not sleeping with this man. So she expects that Stacy wants to jump on the next pogo stick. Not everyone is like you. Not everyone was in a terrible marriage up into the entire time. It sounds like she had a decent marriage, and they just grew apart. Just saying. Just saying. Deborah says Ashley's a garden tool. And that's the thing. Like, I have to say, I respect the way that Stacy and her soon-to-be ex-husband have really been handling this divorce. But like I said, for people to handle the divorce the way that they're handling it says to me that there's still a respect and a love there. So maybe it's not as easy for a Stacy just to hop on the next pogo stick. Ashley. Why is Ashley still here? Of all the people they could have got rid of this season. What is her storyline? Exactly. Toy says other women and other men, allegedly. Is it alleged? I guess. Oh, I guess for Gollum. For Ashley, Ashley says she likes men and women. Anyways, all right. All right, moving on. The most important part of the scene for me was them talking about their children's racial identity and how they will navigate that in the world. For me, that was the best part of this conversation. But of course, Ashley is so gutta. She got to bring it to like, oh, so who you dating now and da 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 da. Whatever. Queen, thank you so much for the super chat. Queen says, Robin can rest in Jesus' name. Amen. Oh, Queen. Oh, I did not expect that. Damn. All right, Queen. Thank you for the super chat. Nikki, thank you for the super chat. Nikki says, former criminal defense attorney here. Karen can't take accountability until she enters a guilty plea. The difference between Karen and Shannon is at the time of the filming, Shannon has already pled guilty. Here's the thing. I don't care. I don't care. Then you shouldn't be filming on a reality television show. But I appreciate it, Nikki, as a criminal defense attorney. Then get off this show. If you can't talk about it, get off the show. No one is saying that she should be like, oh, what she should say, yeah, I'm just happy that no one was hurt. I'm just happy no one else was hurt. I don't care about, oh, she didn't plead guilty yet. Girl, this is your second DUI. 9 citations. And she's mad at Jacqueline for saying, let's wait to see how it all plays out. Why are you mad at Jacqueline? If anything, Jacqueline gave you grace. Okay, we're going to get to that in a second. Nicole, thank you so much for the super chat. Nicole says, Ashley had the nerve to give advice on divorce. That's like Trump giving advice on being physically fit. Thank you so much for the super chat. All right. Okay. All right, let me go back down to the comments. All right, guys, don't forget to like the video if you haven't already. We're talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac. Patricia says, don't care. I don't care. We know what it is, and I get it. She didn't plead guilty. However, girl, you're on a reality television show. We know what it is. It wasn't some accident. Come on. Ms. Esquire, another attorney says, 2 things can be true. Don't jeopardize your case, but don't be here. But she wants that money. Which just says second DUI sounds wild. It's the facts. It's the facts. Pretty Pig says, Kempire, have you had lunch? No, I had lunch today. I had breakfast, not lunch. I haven't had lunch yet. But I did have breakfast. Deborah says, Karen could have said that I'm really sorry it happened. Well, we shall see how this all plays out, but the way it's playing out this season is just deflection. I don't know why she was mad at Jacqueline for what she said, because I felt like Jacqueline was actually in Karen's defense. But we'll get to that in a second, because in this scene with Gizelle and Karen, Karen pulls up in an Uber, and Giselle's like, oh, I was just checking to see how you got here. She was like, Karen's getting a new driver. She's like, what happened to Blue Eyes? Fine. Gizelle does update Karen on her conversation with Dr. Wendy, and she's like, she told Dr. Wendy when Wendy's in conflict, she speaks down to them. She speaks down to people. So Gizelle feels like she had a gripe with Dr. Wendy and stuff. Like Dr. Wendy was the only person wrong in their relationship falling apart. There was no accountability. It wasn't shared in the conversation with Wendy and Gizelle, and then in Gizelle retelling it to Karen, she's like, yeah, I was, she was wrong with the way she speaks to people. All right. See, now if Candace was still here, Candace would be like, what? That's not what we're doing. But Candace was willing to move forward with Gizelle. Anyways, Karen says that she's putting Jacqueline on a timeout because she didn't like the way that Jacqueline says, I just want to wait and see how things play out. And then when they show the scene, that's not exactly what Jacqueline said. She said, we should not judge anyone. She literally says that. We shouldn't. If anything, she was coming to your defense. What I think Karen was upset about, she didn't know at the time, is that Jacqueline brought up that she had a conversation with Karen, and Karen sounded tipsy, or according to Mia, drunk. I think somebody, either Gizelle, maybe it was Dr. Wendy, told. Because remember when Dr. Wendy heard them bring this up, she's like, I'm not getting involved. I'm pretty sure either Wendy or someone told Karen that this was said at the Hattitude party. I'm pretty sure that's what was said. And that's why Karen has put Jacqueline on a timeout. It wasn't what Jacqueline said right there, because it wouldn't make any sense. She was giving you grace. She was giving you grace. So she says she's on a timeout. Okay. All right. Because because Karen says her real friends will ride with her no matter what. I'm not riding with you, Karen, if you drove inebriated and almost killed yourself and somebody else. Look, I'm not riding with you. And as a tourist, we're not that type of friend. We're not that. I get it. You're stubborn and you believe that you're always right, but you were wrong. And I do believe that you drove inebriated, under the influence, while intoxicated. What were the other citations? You producers, editors are so shady. Because when Gizelle brings up the 9 citations, all we see is the 9 citations appear during Giselle's confessional. You guys are so shady. I appreciate it, though. Anyways, Karen brings up Kiana not being invited to the party, and Gizelle immediately wanted to shut it down. She's like, I have no beef with Kiana. She's like, K. Look, K. She's like, I have no beef with Kiana. But she's like, you know what? I'm going to invite her to the GNA event. Okay, GNA. I'm trying to understand. Okay, so we're not doing athleisure anymore. So what are we doing? What did you get to the bottom of what this new era of GNA is going to be? I want to know. I still don't. Even after the event, I'm like, what exactly is this GNA event supposed to be? Like, what is it? What is it? What is this new era? Look, what is this new era of GNA? I don't understand it. I still don't, even after the event. I'm like, is it pills? Is it a diet plan? What is it? Princess on TikTok says, GNA ain't got no athleisure. I know, we just showed it on on YouTube. That's what's left on the website. Okay. So she mentions that she's going to throw this event, but she also mentions that this event is going to be in partner with this foundation because, you know, Giselle's father recently passed away due to a brain tumor. So she wants to do a whole thing to celebrate and raise money for this foundation. Okay? The Girls Club says GNA is just a storyline. Oh. Look. Oh. But she says she's going to honor her father at this event. Karen then says, well, you know, also on the same day, I'm getting this award, the Femme Powered Award. But she doesn't know what time it is because Gizelle keeps asking her. She's like, so what time is it? She's like, but I'm not going to miss your event. I'm not missing your event. Oh, okay. And then Gizelle keeps like, but do you know what time it is? And Karen keeps like, you know, I have so much going on right now, Jizzy. I don't know what time it is, but I'm not going to miss your event. But Gizelle has been invited to this event. So Gizelle knows that she kind of knows what the time frame is for this event. And she says that Karen wasn't even one of the recipients originally on this invite. So she wonders if Karen invited herself and asked them to give her the award. I think this is a PR stunt because of what played out. And I'm sure maybe Matt probably still in the background trying to help with marketing and publicity for Karen, said, we should get you an honor. Yes, you should be honored. First of all, the organization that gave you this event, they should be ashamed of themselves. Because you just got arrested for a DUI. And look, I know she has not been convicted. But the last thing I'm going to wait, very much like Jacqueline says, let's wait to give you this award. We'll give it to you next year. Let's see what the court says in regards to this. Because based off what the citations say, Karen Huger, why are we giving you a Femme Powered Award? I never even heard of this award before, but shout out to them. But I would not be giving her an award. They saw it. They saw all of the news. Why would you give her an award unless she paid for it? This is what people do. People do this in the industry all the time, but they do it on a bigger level. Look, they do it on a bigger level where they buy, they have an album to promote or a movie to promote. And all of a sudden you're seeing that they're getting the da-da-da-da award of the year or they're getting honored. They do this all the time. They just do it on a bigger scale. I never heard of this award in my life. Doesn't make it, less prestigious, but I'm just saying. So Karen set up, paid for this probably, says, I will make a hefty donation to your organization. It will also be featured on the Real Housewives of Potomac. So it brings a lot of attention to your organization. Yeah, now we're criticizing the organization for honoring someone that got cited 9 times. 9 times. She got cited 9 times. My goodness. 9 freaking times. But to me, it was a PR stunt. It was a whole PR stunt. And then she's downplaying, I don't know what time it is. Giselle's like, so it's like a brunch thing? And she's like, I don't know, Gizelle. Clearly, and look, normally, if this was just a Housewives thing and had nothing to do with DUI or anything like that, I'd be like, fine. This is just Housewives antics of throwing a party at the same time, and let's see who goes where. We don't give a damn about your event, your PR stunt, Karen Huger, when you have been accused 9 times, different citations. We don't care about your PR stunt because we see what you're doing. We see exactly what you're doing. It's a scheme that Matt set up to come to us with the BS.
Lies! The lie!
It's actually annoying. It's annoying how much she's deflecting the season. And I get it. You can't necessarily, because you're in the middle of it, you can't necessarily admit to, like, this is what I did. But now this whole situation, what you could have done is show up for Giselle's event and been a friend to Giselle's event. You could have went to Giselle's event and been like, oh, the decor, though, is a mess. But no, you decided I'm going to do a PR stunt to change the whole narrative around these 9 citations. And I hope at the reunion, Gizelle comes with all the 9 citations on a T-shirt and give it out to the audience and then make it for sale on GNA's website because there ain't nothing else being sold on that damn website. Put all the citations right here. All the citations. That's what she needs to do. And I will approve. Look, that's the one time that I will approve of Gizelle and her behavior. So, 6 a.m. in the morning. 6 a.m. in the morning. Karen decides to send a text message to the ladies inviting them to this event. Inviting them to this event. Which clearly conflicts with Giselle's event. Stacy is appalled. She's clutching her pearls. She's just like, why would she do this? We already confirmed that we're going to Giselle's event. Mind you, Gizelle did invite them like the week before. So clearly this was something she put together for the show, but it's still a good cause. And here's the thing, Karen. If Gizelle had done what you did and it was related to your father or mother, because you know she loves to bring that up because that was one of the other things, I was having a heartfelt conversation about my mother and father passing away, and that's hard. However, you have no respect for Gizelle. This whole event is to honor her father that passed away 10 months ago. And if she had done that to you, we would not hear the end of it, and the entire audience would be burning Gizelle at the stake. But this is what you do? So, hold on. Nikki says, if GNA makes a citation t-shirt, I will buy it. Me too. Me too. I'm buying it, and I'm wearing it during a recap. Get on it, Gizelle. Ashley. Get on it. I'm buying it. Just make it cute, though, because I know everything else y'all do is so tacky. Because at least with, like, Lala from Vanderpump Rules, when she came out with the Send It to Daryl, those were cute. I'll wear it. Anyways, if they come up with the 9 citations, and look, Gizelle, someone clip this and send it to them, because Gizelle, put the 9 citations, make it embroidered, because I like a little embroidered. I'll pay the money for the embroidered. Make it embroidered. I don't want no cheap, print. Okay, come on, embroider it. Okay, I mean you could do the print because Senator Dare it wasn't embroidered, but embroider it. Okay, look, embroider it. Wait, what was I gonna say? Oh, embroider the shirt. Make it a sweatshirt. I need a t. I don't want a t-shirt. It's getting cold. I'm up here in New York. It's getting cold. Make it a sweatshirt. If you're gonna put GNA on it, make it small. I want to see the citations. I don't want to promote. But all the money that you raise from that shirt, give it to a charity where victims of people that have drived under the influence. And then it goes to a good cause, and then the whole narrative and PR campaign that the network is trying to do for Gizelle, I will fall for it. I will fall for it. I will fall for it. Here we go. I'm ready. Damn it, don't make me do the shirt. I don't have time. I ain't got time to do all of that. Come on. Oh, right. Oh, Nora says, I would wear a crop sweatshirt here in the tropics. I wear it here in the studio, crop. Y'all can't see my belly, so I'll be like, this. Come on, can someone send this to Gizelle, please? I want to get on it today. All 9 citations. Okay. Oh, Amanda said, you might need a cardigan for all the citations. I mean, with the sweatshirt, I think you'll be able to do it. I think you'll be able to do it. And then you guys, come on. I want to see the charity. There are plenty of charities for families that have lost loved ones to drunk drivers. And then they can donate. Look, if y'all make it, I will buy some for our viewers. Because I know the money's, well, I don't know if I trust y'all, but but no, write a big old check. And then get it done before the reunion. Shoot. Look, get it done so I can wear it to the DMV when I come there for the Kempire After Dark live experience. Soon. Stay tuned. Anyways. All right, let me focus. We went on a whole tangent. Hey, guys, be sure to like the video if you haven't already. We're not even at 500 likes, and we have like 1,500 people watching. Shout out to everyone watching on Twitch and Twitter and behind the scenes here on TikTok. Someone said, not a cardigan. I love me a cardigan, though. Do it nice, though. Ooh, Janessa said, maybe a trench coat. It's more shady. Ooh. Well, they could do a whole thing. You could put a whole bucket hat with the citations. Okay, anyways. All right, moving on. So Karen sends that text message to all the women. They're like, what are we going to do? Gizelle's just like, really? Like, really? Is this what we're doing? She sends this event. She knew about this event. No, she did not know about this event weeks before this. She wasn't invited to this event weeks before this. Karen bought her way onto this event, allegedly. That's what I believe. That's why when Gizelle received the invitation originally, Karen wasn't on it. Holly says, do we have a mugshot? No, we don't have a mugshot of Karen. We do not have a mugshot. So, if we did, no, I'd leave the mugshot off. Because, the whole image and likeness stuff, no. Just all the citations. I can already envision it. It'd be cute. Anyways, so Karen sends a text message inviting all the ladies, and she says that she's going to provide transportation so the women can go from one event to the next event. Okay. Mind you, if you've ever been to a big city like DC, getting from one event to the next event is not easy. It's not easy. So Gizelle is preparing her event. We're at the event space. And look, this event space probably be great for like a regular party. But the way they try to decorate it, I was like, look, it's for a good cause, but it was giving Gizelle. I was like, it was feeling empty. It felt maybe like the event space was too big for the furniture and the flowers. I was like, I'm looking around. I'm like, but this is for a good, look, close my eyes. This is for a good cause. Fine. So the women are in a sprinter, Jassy sprinter, and they're going to Karen's event first. Okay. Giselle's already annoyed because she's like, what time are they going to get to my event? She's like, they might as well not even come. And I know some people might say that's a little bit dramatic, but her event is short and she invited them first. And honestly, they should have just honored the fact that I'm going to the event that I was told about a week ago. Karen's text message to them, was it the morning of that she was inviting them? Winter says the decor was tacky and did not match. Okay, so I'm not alone. Pretty says it was chaotic. Yeah, all right, so I'm not alone. I was like, ooh. Karen's mugshot might be from the first DUI. Oh yeah, there was definitely no mugshot from this last one. I mean, we didn't see the mugshot from this last one. There probably is a mugshot. We just haven't seen it. All right. Let me go back. Okay. So the women are in the sprinter. And they're talking about, going to one event to the next event. Gizelle is getting her event together, but she doesn't even want the women to come. We did find out, I didn't even realize the timeline of things, when her father got his CAT scan, and she said this is the reason why she wants to help raise funds for this foundation, is that her father got a CAT scan. 12 days later, he died. So she wants to change that for other people in the future. So she wants to work with this organization to raise money, and this is what the event is about. Okay? The ladies end up calling Ashley, FaceTiming with Ashley, letting her know. So we think we'll get there by like 8:30, and Ashley's like, 8:30 is too late. Look, 8:30 is too late. She's like, can you get here for 8? And they're like, Stacy's like, yeah, we can definitely do 8. Ashley's like, she goes to Gizelle to tell Gizelle, so like, they were talking about 8:30, but I told them to come at 8. Giselle's like, they might as well not come. She's like, this is so rude. And look, I hate to agree with Gizelle, but it is rude. But I get it. I get why Wendy would go to Karen's event over Giselle's. I get why Kiarna would go to the other event over Giselle's, because it's a GNA event. But the other women, I would just go. Vivian, who's Karen's friend, didn't go to Karen's event. She went to Giselle's event because that's where she was invited first. Jacqueline went to Giselle's event. She didn't go to Karen's event. I feel like there's more to what happened between Jacqueline and Karen than we know, because I feel as if Karen must have said something to Jacqueline in regards to what she said at the Hattitude party. Because for them already to be disconnected after they were cool before, I was like, For Jacqueline to show up at Giselle's event without Mia, I was like, this is quite telling. So at Karen's event, which we didn't even get to see Karen receive the award. Maybe we'll see that next week. The other ladies arrived at Karen's event, but they stayed, took a couple pictures, and left. Wendy and Kiarna stayed. They said, we'll come to Giselle's event later. So Karen's event, photo op, I didn't recognize anybody there, but again, I didn't recognize anybody at Giselle's event. Giselle's event looked like a fan situation. Like, who are these people? Was that Giselle's sister that the camera panned to? The sister that we never met? I was like, is that her sister that's sitting there? Because the camera went to her, but I don't remember if it said this is Giselle's family or somebody. Or maybe not. I'm just assuming. So both events looked lackluster to me. But they tried to do both. And I have to say, the women ended up going to Karen's event, spent a little bit of time, left that event, and came to Giselle's event. But as soon as they arrive at Giselle's event, Giselle's like, no, y'all can leave. No, why are you here? But this is very Housewives. This poor Stacy. Stacy's like, Stacy, what you should have done, you should have went to Giselle's event. And I get it. She came through Karen's. She probably felt a little bit of loyalty. Plus, she was in the ride with the other women. So she was almost stuck. It's like they kidnapped her. It's like they kidnapped Stacy, poor thing. Because she was the only one that was really saying, like, this is wrong, guys. This is really, really wrong. We really should be at Giselle's event. So the women went to Karen's event, made it by 8 o'clock to Gizelle's event. But Gizelle's event was like, what, from 7 to 9 or something like that? So arriving at 8 o'clock, I don't think is bad. And I think Gizelle throwing them out is doing a lot. But I get her being upset. This is supposed to celebrate her family. Mind you, at the Karen event, though, Karen's like, oh, so how is Gizelle? How is Gizelle doing? Because she knew Gizelle was going to be upset. And she's like, obviously, I'm more popular with the women. They all came to my event. Girl, see, again, typically, something like this, Housewives, funny, quirky, we would be feeling very different about it if this event wasn't a PR stunt in order to deflect from Karen's 9 citations. If it had nothing to do with that and it was just Karen being shady and a housewife, it'd be fine. But it's a PR stunt to continue to deflect from her taking accountability this season. So for me, it lands differently when she's like, oh, did Gizelle say anything? How's Gizelle doing? Mind you, what the other stinky, icky part of this, and it probably wouldn't be different, is the fact that Gizelle is doing this in honor of her father that passed 10 months ago. And you lost 2 parents, and Gizelle was the first person to come and comfort you how many seasons ago at that reunion? Oh. She was the only one. Just saying. So it's twofold. It's twofold for me. It's the stuff happening in regards to the DUI, but also if this was a situation, a charity with your parents, you would have been so hurt. The audience would have been so mad at Gizelle. I think they should be really mad at you, Karen. I do think that the audience should be really mad at Karen. Because between the deflection, the 9 citations, the PR stunt of it all, Gizelle just lost her father. It's so disrespectful. Just saying. Sasha says Karen is so wrong. I agree. All right, we're gonna take some callers. We're gonna take some calls because they end this week's episode of the Real Housewives of Potomac with Gizelle kicking out the women. She's like, no. She's like, William, security. William. Part of me like, okay, she's doing a lot. At least the women showed up. But Giselle needs to come for Karen. Gizelle needs to come for Karen, and she'll deserve it. She'll deserve it, but we already know Giselle's not really great at coming for anyone, so it's not going to land. It's not going to land. She was so wrong, but it's like, if this was, let's say this was a Kenya Moore, like she'd be able to boom, boom, boom. Giselle's not going to be able to do that. Giselle's not going to be able to do that. Elise says, you're sending me with saying 9 citations over and over. I'm going to say it throughout the season. And if I could get AI to make Teresa Giudice say it, it'd be even better. 9 citations. All right. Anyways, moving along, guys. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's easy. It's free. We're going to get to some callers. Don't forget to subscribe to the Kempire podcast. You can hear audio versions of our podcast and additional content on the Kempire podcast. Make sure you rate and review us there. We have how many thousands of you watching today alone? If all of you went over to our podcast on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify and gave us a 5-star review, we would hit 1,000 instantly. We only need like 500 and something of you. And I know thousands of you listen. So don't forget to download, and don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. All right. If you are a member of the channel, we're going to drop the call link for you first. Let me just do that now on the community tab. All right. So I'm going to drop it for all members. This is not a part of your membership, but we do it. All right, so all members, I've dropped the call-in link for you guys. Become a member today at teamkempire.com/join. And don't forget, our live stream today is sponsored by our friends over at Factor Meals. More information on Factor Meals will be available in the description. All right, shout out to everyone watching on Twitter, Twitch, and on TikTok. We see you guys. Cosme says she needs to go on Watch What Happens Live. I think that this week they didn't have anyone from from any of the shows on Watch What Happens Live. Let me say thank you. We had a couple of super chats. Zoe, thank you so much for the super chat. Zoe says, saying it should not have happened, I messed up, is not pleading guilty, but it's taking accountability. Oh, how I missed this live. I'm happy again. Hey, Zoe. I feel like there is a way for her to say it without taking ownership. But I believe she did it. What do you believe? Don't let us do a poll. Zoe, thank you for another super chat. Kempire, stop yelling at me. I hit 2 cars that were not moving. I learned my lesson. Thank you. I live in South Africa. Police were kind. They drove me home. Zoe. Well, I'm glad you're safe, Zoe. Amanda, thank you so much for the super chat. Amanda says, do you think they would go if they knew Gizelle didn't want them there if they go to Karen's? Wait, I don't understand the question. Do you think they would go if they knew Gizelle didn't want them there if they go to Karen's? I don't know. I mean, I guess time will only tell. Time will only tell. It was very clear that they wanted to do both events. And could they have done both events? I mean, realistically, no, unless the other event was a lot earlier. But I think they were trying. Someone said do a poll. Come on. I do think that the producers and the network wanted to have one of those Housewives moments. But it lands differently when we're talking about what we're talking about. When we're talking about someone that just lost a parent. When we're talking about someone that just got arrested for a DUI and a DWI. It lands differently. These Housewives antics of like, it lands differently when we're talking about those particular subjects. I feel like the women could have showed up to this event. Karen could have talked about her issues with Jacqueline. Because, they still want to have these little Housewives moments at these events. You could have had those moments and just had one event instead of Karen and her PR stunt. I'm more mad about the PR stunt, and I'm more mad at the organization for even giving her an award after she was just arrested for a DWI and DUI and 9 citations. Like, what were you guys thinking? But I guess cash is king, allegedly. All right. Okay. All right. We have a bunch of people backstage. Live chat. We have, how many of you watching? We have almost 1,500 of you on YouTube alone watching. Can we get to 600 likes? Once we get to 600 likes, I'll drop the call-in link. If you're watching the replay of this, like the video. It's easy. It's free. We appreciate it. Sherry doesn't know. Sherry says, is this Karen's first or second DUI? Her second DUI. Deborah says, exactly, Kempire. I absolutely agree. It hits different. Cozy says, and 9 citations. Please, and please, GNA, can you produce a sweatshirt with all the 9 citations and give the money to a charitable organization? And I know this is where you're gonna piss me off, Gizelle. I think the organization that you're raising money for is amazing. I think it's amazing, but what's gonna put it right into Karen is if you give it to an organization where families have been affected by drunk drivers. I understand you want to raise money. We could do it another time, and I'm willing to help. Look, I'm willing to help. We can raise money for the organization that you were raising for in this particular episode. But right now, I want to raise money for the families that are affected by people like Karen and 9 citations and lose loved ones. Let's raise money for them. All 9 citations, all over. You could put a little GNA on right here on the chest. A little, very tiny, very tiny. Okay, very. Oh, A-Rich said, I forgot about MAD, the organization MAD. That could be one, but maybe there's a local organization. I know we have a lot of people in the DMV. Is there a local organization that we can raise money for? Just asking. Y'all are hilarious in the comments. All right, guys, we're almost at 600 likes. We're gonna drop the call link for the live chat in just a second. Connected. Thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate the support. Thank you. All right, let me take a sip from my coldest water bottle, and don't forget, guys, we still have an active code for coldest. They have sheets, they have pillows, they have water bottles that keeps your water cold for 36 plus hours. Kempire 10 for 10% off. Okay. Patricia says Karen is acting like a Karen. Foxy says very tiny. In fact, put it on the back. Look, we don't need the G&A in the front. We already are, we have not a lot of room for the 9 citations. Okay, let me get to the callers. All right, live chat. We're almost at 600 likes. I'll drop the call link for you guys in just a second. Shout out to our members. We appreciate them being members of the channel. This is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac. We love doing Potomac, but probably mostly talking about it with you guys. How are you feeling about the season so far? I know it's only episode 2. It's okay. My biggest issue was the Gizelle and Wendy conversation. That needed to be handled very differently. I don't feel fulfilled from that conversation or satisfied from that conversation. But I am enjoying Stacy. I enjoy the conversation with her daughter. I enjoy the conversation she had with Ashley about racial identity. Those were my highlights from this week's episode. All right, let's get to the callers because, look, it's Monday and I got bills to pay and bookkeeping to do, all that life. Okay. All right, don't forget, guys, the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, the sponsors, Kempire LLC. They also agree to call in of their own abilities, and they agree not to use profanity, derogatory comments. And they agree to bring up 9 citations at every turn. Thank you. All right, Toya's backstage. We're going to bring Toya up first. Toya, what did you want to share about the Real Housewives of Potomac?
Hey, Kempire. How are you?
Oh, well, how are you today?
I'm good. Hello, audience. I just want to say that we are not stupid. That conversation with Jazelle and Dr. Wendy was not giving what it was supposed to give. I'm glad Brooke Ashley asked and Dr. Wendy answered, and it just lets us know that they really made that conversation look good for Jazelle. But let's be clear, Wendy wanted to move forward. We remember when Jazelle shaded her the way she did. Mm-hmm. It was so much need to be talked about because that beef went on and on because of Jazelle, not Dr. Wendy. And Dr. Wendy may talk down to people, quote unquote, but Jazelle doesn't talk to people. Like, you don't even try and find common ground. But anyway, HR talked to them and they made nice. Stacy and her daughter seemed so cute. I loved it. Kiarna looked gorgeous. Girl, get the ring first before you move in. That's what I did. Let them know. Let them know we don't do that. We don't play those games around here. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Very cutesy, very demure.
Yes.
Bye, Toya. Oh, that's a good question, guys, because, that's not something that I think about. Do you agree with Toya that Kiarna, I mean, she already moved in. We're watching something that's played out months ago. But do you agree that before moving in with the men, she should get the ring? I don't know. I don't even know how I feel about that. I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say. Shout out to Replay Crew. Let us know your thoughts on that as well. We have Tyler backstage. We'll bring Tyler up next. Tyler, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire.
Hi.
So one thing, I don't agree with the way that Jazelle and Wendy's conversation went, but I am glad, for God's sakes, that we're going to have other new, fresh confrontations going on. So if they made nice, great. And then sometimes just having a simple conversation can lead to, let's just let this go and we'll be okay.
No.
I'm glad to see that happen. I never thought it'd be a time that I don't like Karen, and I don't like her this season because Karen is just deflecting, and it's kind of sad because what you did was serious. Yeah. And like you said, like Giselle's parent died. You had a good drunk night. Like, let's not. I didn't like that. I didn't. I never thought there would be a time where I would side with Jazelle, but I mean, I kind of am. And one thing that I can say is that I've noticed Dr. Wendy, I love her, but it's like you should have given a lot of heat to Ashley behind your beef with Jazelle as well. I really wish that she would get into Ashley, but I think people know. People know Ashley goes super low, so they just don't want to go there. Like, Jazelle can't read people, so she just kind of like will ignore you. Ashley will pry, and so I guess maybe that's why they don't. But I'm tired of Ashley getting, excused for the very messy things that she does. But that'll be all.
Good
Thank
point.
you.
Thank you so much, Tyler. Take care. Okay. Excuse me, y'all. All right, we're going to bring Zoe up next. Hold on. Zoe, what did you want to share about the Real Housewives of Potomac?
I am loving this season because I'm feeling sorry for myself and Karen, because I know I've been there, done that multiple times. Oh my God. Every single time I hear like DUI, I'm like, oh my God, this is American thing, because I've never heard of a South African getting a DUI. Like the South African police are like so nice. Basically, because I'm black, they're black, live in a black country, bro. Like it's not that deep for us. If you didn't like hurt anybody else, then you should just let it slide. Especially if you're like very nice and apologetic about it, like you always get away with it. Like I can count a number of times. The other time I couldn't get myself home, so I drove to the police station, and then when I get there, the guy's like, "Okay, don't worry, I'll drive you home." And I'm like, because I'm black, they're black, live in a black country, like we look out for each other, like things like that. Like so, I'm like, oh my God, I wish you guys live in a black country, because all this arrest we're getting, like this is so. It's bad, I get it, but she didn't hurt anybody. She only hurt herself. The insurance will pay for it. Everything will be fine. Just say sorry and move on. It's not that
Zoe,
bad.
I can't let you say this because here's the thing, and this is why. Look, no, and you're not going anywhere. You stay right here.
Oh, you're gonna yell at me.
No, I'm not gonna yell at you. I'm gonna be very stern though, because here's the thing. Have you ever seen a mother or a family member that's lost someone due to someone driving under the influence of something? And if you haven't, I implore you to. Just because you've gotten away and you haven't hurt anyone, you could first of all hurt yourself. And I think all of us would be very upset and sad if we lost you because you've taken this idea of driving drunk so lightly. No, you should take it a lot more seriously because you could harm yourself. And I know your family members would be very upset if they lost you.
I know, Kempire, it really is bad, but I just think about the privileges that other people get. I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying, like, they are just one of the benefits of living, like, in a country with people that look like you. They do tend to, like, they will lecture you and tell you that you are wrong, but they won't, like, ruin your life because they know something like that going on your record. As a young girl in South Africa, it will ruin you.
But Zoe, you said you've done this multiple times because you haven't.
I done it twice.
That's multiple times.
Twice.
Here's the thing. The reason why you did it a second time was because you didn't get any sort of punishment the first time around.
Yeah, true.
And on that note, Zoe, I gotta let you go because we have a long line.
Oh my guys, love you. I'll miss you so much.
Be safe. Bye. All right. All right. Nicole's backstage. We're going to bring Nicole up next. Nicole, what did you want to share in regards to the Real Housewives of Potomac?
Hey, Kempire. How you doing? Long time no hear, speak, or see.
I know. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm doing well. I agree with everything that you're saying. Karen, the way she's been handling, she's been deflecting. And I feel like the relationship between her and Gizelle, that is not a true, real friendship. I'm from the DMV area. I live in the Northern Virginia area. I'm 10 minutes away from DC without traffic. So with traffic, it's going to take me at least almost 30 to 40 minutes to get into the city.
Wow.
And so this is how I know that Karen set this up strategically with Gizelle, because why are you going to send a text 6:30 in the morning? From what I know with Potomac, Karen, she lives in the Great Falls outer skirts, which is probably like 50 minutes away from me in the Virginia part. And then you're looking at Dr. Wendy. She lives in Baltimore County, not Baltimore City. Baltimore County is huge. The state of Maryland is huge. So my thing is that traffic. So you can't send somebody text 6:30 in the morning, knowing that they got family and children. You need to give people ahead of time. So she did that strategically because she knew she was going to get them in a place where they're going to be stuck. But then that makes me think she let them know ahead of time about being invited, because that gave them more time to get through that traffic. Because people don't understand that DMV traffic is horrendous. You already know just being in New York City. Yeah. It's similar. It's very similar. So that's all I just wanted to say.
And I've been to DMV. That traffic is something serious. All right.
Yeah, so that's how I believe Karen. She told them ahead of time, and then she set it up for 6:30 that morning to throw it up in Gizelle's face, because she knows the favoritism is towards Gizelle on that show. And trying to bring up Gizelle's character back up. And I think that's where you're seeing the Game of Thrones right now.
Oh, another Game of Thrones. All right, Nicole. Thank you so much for calling. Take care. All right, we're going to get to some more calls. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's easy and it's free. And don't forget, you can hear an audio version of our live recaps and special episodes on the Kempire Radio podcast. Well, no, Kempire podcast by the Kempire Radio Network. Make sure you subscribe today, but don't forget to give us a 5-star rating, all right, on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Let's get into Miss Esquire. Miss Esquire, what did you want to share in regards to the Real Housewives of Potomac?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm doing good. Good to see you.
You too.
So let me just say that I think that Gizelle is really rich for saying that Wendy talks down to her. Because on this show alone, Gizelle has come for Wendy's looks. She has suggested that she changed her body to suit her husband, to not lose her husband. She was a part of a scheme of suggesting that her husband had been unfaithful to her. Now, your vernacular and your lexicon may not be as advanced as Wendy's, but that does not mean that in conflict you also don't talk down to her. So just because you don't have the words, honey, and your lexicon is not deep, does not mean you're not doing the same thing. Get in there Webster's if you got a problem. What I'll also say is it's very rich to me that Karen has the presence of mind to coordinate PR to be at this event, but not the presence of mind to work with PR to understand how to be on this show and talk about what happened in her life. Because you're absolutely right. When you're in a legal issue and you're on television like this, you need both your legal counselors, but you need your PR counselors. Because if you're going to be on the show, you have to find a way to talk about the circumstance that does not put the case in jeopardy, but that also allows you to look sympathetic, to be sympathetic and apologetic, and talk about your life. And so Karen knows how to do PR because, to your point, that's the reason why she did this event. So don't play with me with the I can't talk about my case. I hate when people are like, oh, it's a legal matter. We can't talk about it. It's pending for legal purposes. Erica Girardi. No, you can talk about it. You just need to navigate. Last thing I'm going to say is it's really fun to me that people got grace for Karen saying that she was drinking because she was mourning her parents. There's so much, but y'all don't have grace for Gizelle being frustrated with these folks showing up late to her event because she's mourning her father. Listen, right is right and wrong is wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree. Mr. Esquire, thank you so much for calling in.
All right, bye, honey.
Bye. All right. I think that's the thing that annoys me the most between the citation part of the story, but also, look, and this is why I always say I work on a fence, and this is why I always say we team you, because when you team you can call people out when they're wrong, even if you like them. And I feel like even if you don't like a person, I don't necessarily love everything about Gizelle on this show. However, I can have compassion that she lost probably the most important person in her life just under a year ago. We already know with grief, it doesn't just disappear. Karen's the first person to talk about that. She was bringing up her parents as to why she was drinking the night that she was drinking and got into the accident and then got 9 citations. All right. Let me say thank you. Brycey, thank you so much for the super chat. Brycey says, I lost my brother and close friend over 20 years ago to a drunk driver. It still hurts all these years later. Just be smart and save everyone. And I'm sure watching something like this is triggering and annoying when you see someone not take any sort of accountability. Because all it took we would be talking about a completely different thing if Karen had actually hit someone and took someone's life. We'd be talking about something completely different. She's very lucky. Shannon Bedore, very lucky. Especially Shannon, because Shannon rode into those people's house. All right. Miss Sharon's backstage. We're going to bring her up next. Miss Sharon, what did you want to share in regards to the Real Housewives of Potomac?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm doing fine. I just wanted to say, I don't know if we talked about this last week, but did you notice that Jacqueline said that Karen had called her drunk?
Yes.
Doesn't that sound familiar? And I believe Karen did it because she had called Robin before drunk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they've talked about this over the years in regards to her calling them when she's inebriated.
True. Yeah. And I don't understand why they even went to Karen's event. They should have said, congratulations, but we're going to Giselle's event since she invited us first. So there shouldn't have been a conflict. Now I can understand that Wendy went and maybe Kiana went, but the rest of them, especially oh, I can't think of her name. She should have went to Giselle's event
Stacy?
along with Jacqueline.
Mia?
Mia, correct. Mia should have went in, along with Jacqueline to that event. And plus, when when Giselle was talking about being condescending, she was defending Mia,
Hmm.
saying she was being condescending to her,
Hmm.
but not really talking about what her problem was with Wendy.
Hmm.
And I don't even know why they even did that flashback, because that didn't even make any sense, because at that moment Wendy was telling her how she felt about what she said about her husband,
Hmm.
not being condescending.
Yeah.
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 And another thing, to that caller who doesn't get caught for drunk driving, you could do a lot of harm to people out in the streets if you're out drinking and driving. My husband drives a motorcycle, as you may know. I don't know if
Hmm.
I ever told you about that.
Hmm.
My husband was hit in a motorcycle by a drunk driver, and he was airlifted to a bigger hospital because our hospital couldn't take care of him.
Hmm.
And then the bigger hospital didn't know if he was going to live or die, but he lived, thank goodness, because he has a hard head. But
Sarah, you gotta add that part.
I know he does, and he had a helmet on as well.
Wow.
So, and he still got a head injuries. So if you're
Mm.
gonna, yeah. So if you're gonna drink out in the streets, please have a sober chauffeur to
Mm.
drive you home,
Or Uber.
or Uber. Thank you very much. And that's all I have,
Thank you, Miss Sharon. Take care.
Kimber. Bye bye.
Bye. All right. Okay, guys, please be respectful of everyone's time because we have a long line of people waiting. But I do appreciate everyone sharing their personal stories, but I want to be able to get to everyone. You know, we try to get to all the callers, and it's already after 2 p.m. here, and I've been live, I don't know how long I've been live. Hour and a half, okay? But it's okay. Miss Sharon, no, Miss Sharon, Miss Bernice is backstage. We're going to bring Miss Bernice up next. Miss Bernice, what did you want to share in regards to the Real Housewives of Potomac?
What up, though, Kempire? How you doing?
I'm well. How are you? How do you feel about your fellow Detroit girls on the show?
Oh, I love it. I think that I love Stacy, and like I said in the comments, if Daddy can do a vacation with girlfriend in Mexico, you can do a vacation with girlfriend here in Detroit to meet her other side of the family. You was the only child. That don't mean that you didn't have no cousins and stuff around you.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now.
All about
Karen is Corella DeVille to me, and you know her characteristics of Corella are coming out more and more as each episode goes on. And poor Friar Tuck, which is Giselle, she don't have no backup. Robert Hood is gone, and the sheriff of Nottingham is gone. So she got to stand on her own 2 feet, and she's not used to that. So she gonna bob and weave for a couple of episodes, and then she gonna pick up pace. I didn't appreciate that meeting she had with Wendy, because she put it all on Wendy, like she didn't do anything to antagonize Wendy. Wait a minute, we're not gonna talk about such and such and such, but you attacked me on all of these things, but we're not gonna discuss it. So you look like you the injured party, and we supposed to just suck it up because your feelings hurt. You don't get anything solved with that.
And nothing. I don't think anything was solved.
No, it's not, because you're just brushing it under the rug, but it's still there. So it's gonna come up again because you didn't learn from it.
Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed, Miss Bernice. Thank you so much for calling in.
Okay, the Lions won yesterday, so hey, I'm happy.
Wait, Lions for football?
Yes, they beat Dallas 47-9.
Oh, they won
one. Yes, they won one.
When do we know when people are going to the Super Bowl?
Probably by the beginning of November.
Okay, soon. So possibly the Lions could be going to the Super Bowl?
They keep playing like they played yesterday. Heck yeah.
Oh, Okay. Well, you'll keep us posted.
Yes. Oh, yes, I will. Yes, I will.
Have a great day.
Okay, you too. Bye bye.
Bye. This is how I get my sports. Okay. All right. Kara's backstage. We bring Kara up next. Kara, what do you want to share in regards to the Real Housewives of Potomac?
Well, good afternoon and happy Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yeah, I forgot. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Yeah. I just wanted to share that with Karen. I can't relate. I have no sympathy for a person that can afford a driver and doesn't utilize one.
Mm.
Um, with regards to Wendy and Giselle's conversation, felt very flat for me. I did like, though, that Giselle seemed to touch on the diaspora of it all. The whole, like, it felt condescending when you speak to me in this type of way. I really wish she would have elaborated a little bit. I know she didn't want to get onto the isms of it all,
Mm-hmm.
but there very much is that sometimes with African Americans, speaking with someone from African descent, the feeling of that condescending way of talk. And I really love how typically Nigerians can read. It's very beautiful, but also you kind of like, dang, you said something beautiful to me, but also it was like a backhand, like, insult, like, you feel kind of crunchy about it. And so I really just wish she would have said something like that. Other than that, the episode, it was okay.
Oh, just okay. From 1 to
Yeah.
10.
5.
Oh, okay. That's just okay. All right, Kara, thank you so much for calling in.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. All right, we're going to get to some more callers, guys. Don't forget to keep liking the video if you haven't already. It's easy, it's free, and it supports our channel, but it also supports other content creators that are reporting on similar shows and topics. And as you know, here on the channel, we don't just talk about Real Housewives. We talk about everything in pop culture. So be sure to check out everything that you missed, including all of your Diddy updates from last week. There's a lot played out. Even over the weekend, we had Kanye entered the chat. Not literally, but in a story. All right, Mel's backstage. We're going to bring Mel up next. Mel, what did you want to share in regards to the Real Housewives of Potomac?
Hey, Kempire, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I think that for me, that conversation, we waited so long for that conversation between Gizelle and Wendy.
Mm-hmm.
And even looking at Wendy's interviews before this premiere came on, she was like, I know I got a lot of heat because people didn't know what I was doing. And then I'm like, okay, I'm ready for this conversation. And nothing happened. Nothing happened. Basically, Gizelle said, if I cross a line, if I cross your boundaries and you react to me, I'm going to ice you out, and I'm not going to talk to you, and I'm going to be in my feelings. Like, well, wait. Now you went totally out your mind, and not no shade at all. When my girl Miss Candace called your house a cabin in the woods, you went out of your mind. You just didn't want to deal with the lady for a long time. So that's the thing that I don't like about Gizelle. She seemed to be very sensitive when people have emotions or react to her, but when she does things that provokes them, she wants them to, I don't know, it just is very weird. So that conversation was nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that something else happens because I like Wendy. I like Wendy, but I'm like, Wendy, listen, I like you very much, but I'm disappointed. You went to the interview, said we were going to be happy with the conversation, and it was nothing. It was total.
Well, keep in mind, Wendy also, she probably saw the episode maybe like a few days before we did. And when she did that interview, it was before she probably saw the episode.
Ooh, okay.
And she says that it was a 2-hour-long conversation, and they spoke about everything. So maybe in her mind, like, well, we spoke about everything. She doesn't know what that's going to look like on television.
Wow. Well, the producers didn't do her no service because she looked like she just was sitting there. And oh my God, it's terrible.
Yeah.
But anyway, listen, I'm glad I got a chance to catch you live. Congratulations with everything. I never called in for a long time, but I'm watching the replays and just sending good vibes.
Thank you so much, Mel. Take care.
Okay.
Bye. Yeah, Mel's been around a long time calling in. A lot of you have been around a long time calling in. So shout out to those of you. I understand your lives get busy. You do your thing, and some of you are back in the office. I understand. So shout out to the replay crew. We appreciate you guys as well. I try to get into the comment section after the live and engage with the replay crew. So be sure to let us know if you're a part of the replay crew and where you're watching from and your thoughts on this episode. Oh, thank you, Danielle. Danielle said Karen's next court date is December 16th, 2024. I wonder when they're going to film the reunion. probably not until the new year they're going to film the reunion. So we'll probably have more details. Thank you for the update. All right, Vanessa's backstage. We're going to get to these last couple of callers so I can get out of here because I got things to do. We're going to bring up Vanessa next. Hold on. Vanessa, what did you want to share in regards to the Real Housewives of Potomac?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
I absolutely enjoyed the episode. One thing I want to say really quick. I would not mess with you today because your Taurus is touristing. You were going off today. I was like, yes, Kempire, yes.
Sorry.
So anyway, really quick with Karen. Oh, okay. Karen, like really, I like her so much, but she's like, her and Gizelle to me, they're like twins. They both are kind of like, they don't want to take accountability for anything. And Karen, that's not a good look, hon. You're looking really bad this season. I'm sorry. She really is.
Yeah.
I 2 times, there's no excuses for that. I love your idea with the merch. We need the 9 citations merch coming soon because I think it would knock her down a peg. Karen got real Hollywood. You know, she talks about Rihanna and Beyonce, and I think in her mind she's on their levels. I don't know. But I think she's embarrassed, and I think that merch would be a great way to take her down a few pegs. That's just my opinion. Gizelle, I'm not a fan. However, well, I have a quick question for Gizelle. Is Jamal coming? Did he come?
Is Jamal coming?
Nobody else came. Maybe Jamal. But it was a little embarrassing. I do understand why the girls did that. Gizelle is just, they don't like her, but they should have honored her by showing up because she did invite them first.
Honestly, even if I didn't like Gizelle and we're working on a show and she invited me first, I would have went to Giselle's event.
Yeah, fair is fair.
Yeah, I'm like Karen, especially because I know what this is associated with. Like, you're not going to use me in your narrative, trying to change the narrative. I would have went to Giselle's event. I'm like, I don't like you, but I'm here.
Yeah, I think that was bad for her to kick them out. That was a little dramatic, but
we'll see. We will see if they actually leave.
yeah. And then with the young lady that called in Miss Zoe, I mean, I hope Karen didn't hear what you said, Zoe, because if she did, she's probably headed out to South Africa now, because Karen's. All right, shouldn't make jokes. No, but anyway,
it's okay,
love
Vanessa.
You, Kempire. I'm getting my tickets because you said you're coming to LA.
Yes,
yes, and that was around my birthday too.
Oh,
so
perfect!
I am excited. I cannot wait to meet you.
Thank you
Kisses,
so much. Thank you,
great
Vanessa.
Show.
Thank
Go
you.
get some food or something.
Because the tourist is touristing? Okay. All right, fine. Thanks, Vanessa. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Let's get to some more callers, guys. I'm going to round this out. If you're just joining us, this is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac. A lot of people are sharing their thoughts on, was Karen right or was Gizelle right? Which event would you have gone to? Let us know in the live chat. No answer is wrong. All right. Stefan's backstage. We're going to bring Stefan up next. Stefan, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
How are you?
Good. It's been a long time since I called you, but I'm always watching.
Thank you. What have you been thinking of this season so far of Potomac?
So far, I think it was a great first episode. I think that we should have just went right into getting into Karen, but we all know Karen is the queen of deflection, and I think we all knew that she was going to do that. And I love the Grande Dame down. I think that we all knew that she was going to deflect. I think it's a cop-out, but she's going to Karen, you know. Now, my thing about last night's episode was, again, that whole conversation with them. I think production and network did a disservice because we all were waiting for that conversation, and it happened so early on in the season. If they would have shown an actual genuine conversation, I think that it would have been easier for us to actually move on and see Gizelle and Wendy get along, and Wendy wanted to hunt Gizelle. I think we could have possibly believed that if we would have shown a real conversation. Now, as far as the events, out of everybody that, I don't know if everybody was invited because, you know, Gizelle should leave you out of an invite. Of the people that were invited to Giselle's event and that went to Karen's event, I do think they should have went to Giselle's event just because they were invited way prior,
Yeah.
and we knew about the Karen event months before, and she wasn't special. Like she was just added on, I think. And Miss Stacy, girl, be careful of Miss Ashley because she gonna use all that little information you told her in the woods, and she gonna be messy with it. And also, I think that even though I think that Karen was being a little sneaky with the 6 a.m. thing, I don't think she was necessarily doing it to spite Giselle. I think she was doing what she does and deflecting. And I think that she felt like if she was in another room with all the girls again, she was going to be the topic of the conversation. But let's also not forget a few years back, earlier in the show, when Giselle and regular Robin came up in Karen's event for her aunt that was like really, really old with their ripped up jeans just to ambush her and try to make a moment that was something that was special to her. But at least Karen didn't do that at Giselle's event when she was honoring her father.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I mean, that we're talking years before. They were in a different space. A lot has happened since then.
They're supposed to be in a better space now. Back then, they would be in there.
And Giselle has been, based off the edit, Giselle has been showing up for Karen.
I can agree with that.
Just saying. And you're right about the whole Ashley stuff because we already know Ashley's going to be the bone carrier talking about Stacy and her not sleeping with this man. She's going to talk about it. I bet you money that she's going to bring it up to the other women and then it's going to become a hot topic.
You know she is. She can't wait to put her forehead in that lady business.
All right.
But I'll let you go. I'm already past time.
Thank you,
Have a good day.
Stefan. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye, Stefan. All right. Audrey's backstage. We're going to bring Audrey up next. Audrey, what did you want to share in regards to the Real Housewives of Potomac?
Hi, Kempire. I'm so glad I made it live.
Yes.
I actually had to work early at work, so like at 3 a.m. So like I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I got home in time to catch
Wait, you're up with Karen sending out text messages?
No, that one came out at 6, remember?
Oh,
so
yeah.
Up before her.
I assumed that she was already up.
Right. So yeah. Okay. I was about to say something shady and I didn't
Say it.
There you go.
Say it.
I was about to
Say
say
it.
drunk people.
What?
I was about to say she's out there drunk calling people. I agree with you. I do believe it. I do think now she really does do it. Okay, so just really quickly, because I know you people, backstage or whatever. A couple of things. I really like Stacy, and I was someone who was I boycotted last season because of the colorism. I already had a discussion with you and other people. But I like the brown girls that they brought on. Even though Wendy's giving me pick-me vibes this season, I don't like her boobs out like that. It's just like, it just seems desperate. It seems done before, whatever. But I like the new girls. I really like Stacy. I don't know if you clocked it, but that conversation about the identities of your children and how they identify, did you catch when Ashley said, because they don't have those qualities? I think she meant to say because they don't look black.
Yes.
But it came off as qualities because Ashley's less than smart. I didn't like that.
Yeah,
comment.
I did see that.
Yeah, I was like, did anyone else catch that? But I will say this unpopular opinion, I think Giselle was wrong. I think if they got the invite, I'll be quick.
No, Sherry, you're the last caller.
Okay. They got the invite. They were trying desperately to make it to both events, which I thought was actually really respectful. And then to sit up there and then throw them out after they get there at 8:03, I thought that was tacky. I thought it was tacky in her father's memory. They were there to support her, and I thought it was rude. I thought their reaction was actually really authentic. Like that's how I would feel too.
Yeah.
And I really like that girl, that Chloe. I don't mean to call her girl, but I think it's something with a J.
Oh, Jassy.
Yeah, I like her. I like how she gave it to Ashley. I like what she said, military time. I thought that was great. Like I really like the girls. I still miss Candace. I'm glad Robin's gone, but I like the new girls. I think they're shaking it up. I think it seems like it's going to be a good season. And again, I just really want to reiterate, just because of what I do for a living. I'm a journalist. I see a lot of things. That caller from South Africa with the drunk, check that, Kempire. I'm so glad you didn't laugh along with it, because it is really serious, and that is not funny at all. People die all the time with that kind of stuff, and that is not funny. And I think Karen, and I'll say this and I'll be done with Bravo, they really need to kind of hammer down on that a little bit more, because that is actually very serious.
Yeah.
And she could have died. She could have killed someone. It's not funny. And the same thing with OC. Like, that's not funny. Yeah. So anyway, that's all I want to say. Thank you so much for everything you do. I'm so glad I caught a live. And I'm so glad you're back, reviewing some of the, reviewing the girls. So,
and it makes more sense. I was like, why is her job at 3 a.m.? Then you say you're a journalist. It's like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
I had to. No, it's just for today, tomorrow. I had to do the morning show. Oh, but besides that, I just, you do a great job. I met you in Atlanta, and you do an excellent job. And so have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you so much. You too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Shout out to all the callers and shout out to all of you. Shout out to everyone in Atlanta. I had a good old time in Atlanta when I went. I had a good old time in Nashville too. I had a good old time in Boston, Philly, New York twice, the DMV. Now that we're talking about the DMV, I feel like I need to come back. All right. Are you guys ready to come back and see another Kempire After Dark live experience in DC? Stay tuned. All right, but speaking of the Kempire After Dark live experience, if you are in Los Angeles or in the West Coast or want to be a part of our last U.S. tour date of 2024, go get your tickets. More information on our show on November 20th at the Bourbon Room is available in the description. Let's sell out this show. I am ready. All right, let me say thank you because we had a couple of super chats. Thank you guys so much for 700 likes. We appreciate that. Angelica, thank you for the super chat. Angelica says, I saw Wendy responded to a comment on X of Brooke Ashley saying the conversation was 2 hours long and that she told Gizelle all about her past behavior. We did talk about that. We even showed the tweet. Here's the tweet. We even showed the tweet. Okay? But thank you, Angelica, for the super chat. Mr. Melon Magic, thank you so much for the super chat. Mr. Melon Magic, I feel sorry for Gizelle losing her father, but I wouldn't have went. You can't do devilment and then get upset when Satan comes back to bite your neck. Oh my God, what is wrong with you people? Look, only reason why I would have went to Giselle's event is because I'm working on the show with her and it's a group event. That's the only, in real life, I'm not going. Zoe wants to tell you guys, I'm sorry, it won't happen again. Thank you for slashing. We hope so. For your own sake and for others. All right. Thank you to everyone that called in. Thank you to everyone that sent in super chats. Thank you to our King's Guards for holding us down. Shout out to our channel members. And of course, shout out to our subscribers and those of you watching in the bushes. We appreciate you all being here. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday. This week, I'm going to try something different. I think we're going to combine our Real Housewives of New York and our Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recaps this week, maybe to do like a little Thirsty Thursday. So stay tuned for that. But also stay tuned. As you know, we don't just talk about reality television here on the channel. We talk about everything in pop culture, including Big Brother, Love is Blind, and what was the other one? Queen's Court. Stay tuned for, I think I'm going to do an impromptu, informal live for that. And, of course, we talk about everything in regards to, like, the Diddy of it all, Wendy Williams. So much is going on. So be sure to check out everything that you may have missed. All right? Amber says, come back, Kempire. I missed the first one. Which one? What city? What city, Amber? All right, let me get out of here, y'all. Have a great rest of your day. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Gazing at the blue of the night, stars are filling up the sky. You take my hand in yours, we'll make our own constellations. I could say how much you mean to me, but it won't mean a thing, 'cause words never sound quite right. Let's find our own kind of language. We've searched the whole world and all around it. Didn't know what we were looking for till we found it. They could say they've seen the highest mountain, bottom of the deepest sea, but no one's ever seen a love like this. They could dig up all the buried treasures where it's know what we were looking for till we found it. They could say they've seen the highest mountain, bottom of the deepest sea, but no one's ever seen a love like this. They could